Hey, Missouri Baptist Bible Fellowship. Thanks for taking a moment and watching this edition of Pastor's Talk. I am here with my good friend Phil Housley, and he is a pastor not just like a mile down the road from me here at Seminole, and he pastors at Parkcrest and doing a great job. And I'm glad to connect with you, Phil. You're a busy guy these days. You got something going on?
A little crazy, with life, which is always exciting, and pastoring. Yeah, there's a fellowship meeting coming up September. Excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. For one, I get to sleep in my own bed. I don't have to travel. But two, you've got some good speakers and you got some good folks at your church, and you've got a good agenda of things for us to do. So I want to get into some of that. Thank you for hosting. First of all, I know it's a ton of work. You guys have been working on it for a while, and I love your theme. Why? Tell us why that theme? Renewing your purpose.
Because life in itself is sort of chaotic and crazy at times. And as a pastor, we thought it best to sort of cut through a lot of that craziness, because all of us have gone through it. And you have so many different elements in church, in ministry, and in society that can distract us. So what we want to do is spend a little time to cut through all of that and just remind everybody of the why. Statistically, Barna's shown that 42% of the current pastors are seriously, and this is a quote, seriously considering, end quote, quitting the ministry. And that is an article that was published by Barna in March of this year. 42%. So 4 out of 10. Good heavens, we've got that on Republic Road, don't we?
Yeah.
We've got 10 pastors right here.
And we know that we all know a brother pastor or two who already have stepped aside, yes, for various reasons, and we're not judging, but that is it's a reality that pastors are facing today. Many people have said COVID presented things for ministers that they never imagined, and it created turmoil and conflict within churches. A third of many churches haven't even returned yet to their full attendance pre-COVID. So it's really been a time of challenge, and to just be reminded that God has called us to this, and that it's His purpose, isn't it?
But you hit the nerve. So the 3 reasons they say that pastors are quitting: number one, because of the stress, and COVID added to that stress.
Sure.
The second reason that they said was the division that's there politically, the division that's there culturally. I don't know about you. I would assume that you're going to have the same people that I have, where there was somebody that was, I will not come to church if you make me wear a mask. And then the other person said, I will only come to church if you make everybody wear a mask. And then the third group is, if you even talk about a mask, I'm gone. And then some people just got comfortable at home. Well, so the normal stresses of the pastor have now compounded because of that. But what you pointed out is one of the key reasons pastors are remaining in ministry. It's because of their calling. So what we want to do in this meeting is remind you of your calling. And then we're going to show you different sides to ministry and how God has worked. And that when you push through that and you trust the Lord through that, then it makes an eternal difference in so many different ways. And so that's really the why. We want you to come here, maybe not, we don't want you to come here worn out, but we've realized that many times you're going to come here worn out. We want to encourage you. We want you to be refreshed and be reminded of your calling.
Amen. Yeah. So quitting could certainly be one result of forgetting. But there are a ton of other reasons or things that happen to pastors if they forget. Like they could just go through the motions, right? Or they could become cynical, or we could lose our shepherding heart, or we could fail to initiate a new vision or plan, or really go after something out of fear, because we've just been beat down. So those are all things that we can avoid by just renewing our vision.
The devil is a master at distracting us. He cannot indwell us, but he can throw things up in our face that get us to chase and do this and follow all of these things. And we've watched some pastors in our past that have focused on a distraction, and the devil got the victory. Not only a victory in a ministry, but a victory in a marriage, and a victory. The devil wants to destroy us. And if he can take out the leader, then he can affect the whole ministry. And there are people, especially in Springfield, on the sidelines saying, well, that church was this, and that church would happen in this situation. And good heavens, it brings a blemish to the name of the Lord. And so we want to encourage you. We don't want you to be distracted. And we want to clarify the why. And we want you to renew your purpose while you're here.
Yeah, and I think this is good at a personal level, but it's also good at a kind of a corporate level, like for our movement, for the BBFI, like renewing our purpose and understanding our why. If we come and we get rejuvenated on God's call, not just at a personal level, but what God's doing corporately through us, we have a whole new slate of officers coming in. And some of these guys are really pumped about church planning and missions and our colleges and things that God can still do. And so I think there's this new opportunity, even within our fellowship.
Sure. I go back to 1 Kings 19. Elijah just had an incredible victory. Goes out in the woods by himself. I got to tell you, in ministry, there have been times, and you say, are you kidding me? In Springfield, there's hundreds of churches. There are churches, Chinese restaurants, and banks here in Springfield. That's pretty much all there are. Okay. But there have been times in ministry where I felt like I was alone. And Elijah tells God, and I'm going to paraphrase here, I've had it. I'm through with all of this. And he felt like he was the only one. In ministry, because of the stand that you take, because of the people that you're striving to reach, many times you feel like you're out there on your own.
Right.
And what God did was clearly remind him, hey, there's thousands of others. So let's apply that now to the fellowship. Sometimes when you're serving, you really do feel like you're out there on your own. The only place that you have that's sort of a respite is home, where you can spend time there. Well, guess what? When you come to the fellowship meeting, not just the one that we're hosting, but any fellowship meeting, you're reminded that there's hundreds of thousands of people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. And there's a refreshing element. And God just had to break it down to Elijah. Hey, you're not the only one here.
Right.
And so it will answer a question like that. And you'll be refreshed because of those relationships.
Good. Well, just looking at the schedule of things you have planned, you've thought about not just the lead pastor, but you have things throughout the schedule that are intentionally designed to help the entire staff, everybody that's doing ministry. So kind of unpack the schedule for us and let the pastors know why they should bring their wives and the rest of their staff.
Okay. First, it's sort of crazy when you come to Springfield, there is no other place like Springfield cashew chicken. Okay. Now we know that's not going to get you here, but that is Springfield. So on Monday night, we're going to serve you dinner after the service.
Amen.
But
Good.
we're actually going to feed you cashew chicken. We're having it catered in for you, which is pretty cool. We've set aside a meal for 500, which is a little crazy, but that's a lot of cashew chicken. That's not what's going to get you here. What's going to get you here is the fact that we're going to preach God's word. We want you to be encouraged and challenged. Where unapologetically, I've invited preachers to come and speak to you and challenge you and encourage you. Monday night, Jim Bays is going to come, and he retired after serving over 40 years at the church. He retired and then said, I still got some in me. And now he's pastoring again and investing in people. He's going to speak Monday night. On Tuesday morning, we have some missionaries that are a part of the Creative Access missionaries, and they're going to speak. He has served here at Parkcrest for many years, and he's now a missionary, so he knows both sides. So for the pastor and missionary, they're going to be here and speaking. And I can't give you their name; it's not safe for them outside the country. We have also got a younger pastor who's coming, Grant Stobbs, who pastored with Pastor Upchurch for many years. It was associate pastor. And when Pastor Upchurch passed away, Grant Stobbs stepped in, doing a great job. So the younger man. We have a panel discussion for pastors. Okay, what is culture? How do we apply biblical principles in the culture for today? I think a lot of times we get distracted and start complaining about our culture when we have to realize that's the culture God's called us to reach. And what are we going to do about it? On Tuesday afternoons, as far as a schedule, it's a little bit crazy. There's something literally for every part of your staff. If you bring your, if your spouse is your assistant, there is something designed for her. There's something designed for you. Pastor Elmore in Arkansas thought of ministering to even the retired pastors and the retired missionaries. So we have something for church planters. I'm bringing one of my church planters home, Brant Leach, who's in Orlando. He is going to do something specifically for church planters. Missionaries, I'm bringing 2 missionaries home to just do something specifically for missionaries. For our pastors, there's a respite for you on Tuesday afternoon. Associates, there's something for children's directors. There's something for music, student ministry. There's really something for everybody. Tuesday night, we have Pastor Timothy Ateek coming. He's from Watermark Church, younger guy, has been a believer, but also has a history in the Middle East as a part of his family. He's going to bring some perspective to that. Also, there's something Tuesday nights pretty special. Many of you know Jerry Thorpe, who has served in ministry for many years. I had Jerry Thorpe come and speak here regularly. He preached a message on a weekend, and a young lady's life was changed. You'll hear the full story.
Don't give the story here.
I won't.
It's
I'm
too good.
I'm not going to give it away, but I got to
awesome.
tell you, I got to lead her daughter to the Lord. So there's 3 generations. Wait until you hear that. It's incredible. And then Wednesdays, always about missions. We're excited about that.
That's awesome. So there's a lot of stuff going on. You have a great schedule. And so guys, come. It's September 19th through the 21st. Plan on being here all 3 days, and you'll be encouraged. And I particularly really appreciate the emphasis on the ministry to the retired pastors, inviting them back. And for all of us current pastors, let's make sure we get around and shake their hands, let them know that they're welcome. They're part of our fellowship. We appreciate those men who have gone before us. And so I let my dad know about that. And so I've encouraged my dad to come down from St. Louis and come back to Springfield. So I think he's going to be here. And so I'm encouraged for him to be with us and hang out with some of his old pals too. So it's going to be a good time of fellowship. It really do. All right. So real quick, we got to wrap this up. Are there any other reasons, or maybe the top 5 reasons, boom, 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 why we should come to Springfield in September, not May, but in September? Why should we come?
Because you're not going to be in charge. If something breaks, nobody's going to ask you about it. You get to
reason number 1, boom.
You get to sit back and take it easy. All right. Number 2, man, you just get to rest. It is a respite. You get to be away. If you just make the effort to get here and just sit back, I'm telling you, I've got a church that is excited about serving you, and you get to be ministered to. Okay.
Cool. Vacation. All right. Reason number 3.
Oh, gracious. I'm going to go serious on this. You need a break. You need a break. If you lift weights, if you ride a bicycle, if you play in sports, you cannot do that day after day after day. You've got to give your body time to heal.
Well, if you lift weights, you're just crazy anyway. So, all right, you need a break. You stop doing that.
That's called
yeah. Body exercise problems little.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you get to meet some goofballs that know exactly what you're going through. Yeah. There's so many there's an eclectic group of individuals. There are people that are crazy. There are people that are super serious. And you get to spend time with them all. You get to sit in the same pew with them.
We're all crowns in the same box. All right. Final reason why come to Springfield.
Oh man, if there was a drum roll, what am I going to say? Wow. That's a really good question. I honestly say because you give my church an opportunity to serve you.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
Man, I'm telling you, they are pumped about that. Yeah. So maybe that was the second and the last, but we're pretty excited about that. So let us do our thing.
And that's great. And I always love going to fellowship meetings. It's always helpful for me to see other churches function. And there's, it's a different building, different setup, different people in charge. But there's this underlying thread that every church we've ever gone to for a fellowship meeting is the same, because Christ is the center. They love each other and they love the people of God. And it just exudes in so many different ways. And so, Pastor, you're going to get to experience another church being the church and loving on the people of God and serving the ministers of God. So September 19th through 21st, Phil, we're praying for you, proud of you. We love you. And the state of Missouri, hey guys, when you come to serve, right? Come to be refreshed, come to understand renew your purpose, but reach out to somebody else, somebody you don't know, meet them, pray with them, and love on others. And I'm always more encouraged when I'm encouraged somebody else. So let's do the same thing.
Let me add this real quick. If you're a younger pastor, we have strategically placed a nursery in all of those services. So you bring your kids. We have qualified, background checked leaders that are going to be in there taking care of them, so you can actually come and enjoy it. So you come as well.
Yeah, and if your youth pastor needs to go in the nursery, they can go there too.
Yes, exactly.
That way you can rest, Pastor. I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding. No hate mail. All right, hey, brother pastors, love you. We'll see you in a couple weeks. All right, God bless. Thanks, Phil.
God bless you.